Hello, everybody. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I'm in the room where I was shot. Okay, and I'm here for a reason because I wanted to show you how tiny this little utility room is. It's where my washer and dryer is. The door here is going out to the garage there. The camera right now facing me is sitting in the kitchen. So this is the utility room. It's about 8 foot by 9 foot. I'm going to show you here. I can touch the wall here. I touch the wall here. Okay. I can touch the wall here, and I touch the wall here. Okay. See, when I got out of the hospital, I didn't know what happened because when I shot, I was walking to the back door and I fell to the ground. Boom. Okay. And then I find my phone line's disconnected. Right. Burglar alarms going off in the attic. You know, at the time, over and over and over and over again. Now I know that there was a burglar trapped in the guest bathroom, and that might have been the motive for murder. I'm not so sure about that, or one of the motives for murder. But either way, we know that happened. Okay, but I want to show you this stick is 4 foot long, shorter than my shotgun, and that's what these police claim, that I was shot with my shotgun. And so, but the evidence shows that didn't happen. Okay. Well, there wasn't enough physical room in this room for me to be shot with a 4 foot long shotgun. Okay. And I didn't know what happened because I was ambushed. I've compared this to Kennedy driving down Dallas and the back of his head blown off, and somebody's going, "Well, who shot you, John?" Well, I don't know. I was sitting in the car, and next thing you know, my head blows off. You know, well, it's like when they go, "Well, what happened, buddy? Who shot you?" I don't know. I was walking to the back door, burglar alarm's going back. I'm under a home invasion. Boom! I fall to the ground. Somebody shot me. They were under my home. And the gun was level, 2 inches above ground. We know that the entrance and exit wounds were 2 inches above ground level. So the gun, the shooter's gun, was about that tall on the ground. Okay, and so they were literally waiting for me to walk by, and as soon as they, had a kill shot, they were aiming for the artery, the main artery there. They pulled the trigger. Okay, that's when I fell to the ground. That's why I didn't see anybody. I didn't know what happened. Nobody would expect that the Bushes had put in 4 3-bedroom $1 million underground homes here back in the 80s, safe houses. Who would think that, And who would think that they were using them for oil show parties where they're prostituting out little girls and murdering the ones that want to prostitute? But that's what's going on. There's one in my backyard. There's plenty of evidence showing what's going on. Multiple people documented saying tunnels, underground homes here. I had just reported a suspected tunnel to the DEA 2 weeks earlier. Some people have even wondered if somebody at the DEA was involved in these crimes, the human trafficking, the underground crimes and all that. And as soon as I reported that suspected tunnel to them, then instead of looking, then they started planning my murder, And it was real clear my murder was planned. Back when I'm shot, I didn't have any evidence. All I had was this crazy story. Burglar alarms going to the attic and somebody shoot me by surprise. But now there's, absolute proof showing I wasn't shot with my gun. There's multiple people documented saying that there's underground homes and tunnels that are here. And then there's almost 50 other homeowners across the nation documented reporting people in the attic. There's a dozen addresses just in Midland, another dozen over in Odessa. This is widespread racketeering and crimes, what's going on. I believe it's connected to human trafficking. Okay. And so some of the evidence, and I can show you, I've got this in other videos and I can do it on the computer. This one I got in front of the camera and I'll just tell you about it. Okay. One piece of evidence, very important, ballistic evidence. The size of pellets removed from my foot as per the lab report were 2.5 sizes different than the size of pellets that were in my gun. Okay. And now I want you to let that sink in. The size of pellets in my foot were different than was on my gun. What that means is ballistic evidence proves beyond shadow of a doubt that I wasn't shot with my gun. Okay, that means I was shot with another gun. Okay, and that means somebody under this cabinet, the cabinet looked just like it, waited for me to walk by and they pulled the trigger and shot me. They were hunting humans. That's what they were doing. They broke into my home to murder me. Okay. Another piece of evidence that I found was the surgeon's report where he stated he found a large amount of plastic in the wound. Well, a shotgun shell in like a 12-gauge shotgun, which I had, right, it doesn't have a large amount of plastic that'll be in the wound. You have the wadding that is behind the pellets, and that actually follows the pellets. The wadding is a one-piece plastic that follows it. It's found in the entrance side of the wound. But that was removed before surgery, okay? And that's documented on the medical reports, okay? So where does this plastic come from? Lisa Rogers told me I was shot with a .45 handgun. That fits the space requirements because we know the direction of shot, we know where I was shot, all that. But there wasn't enough room for this, 4-foot long shotgun here. And the bottom line is I didn't shoot myself, Somebody under this cabinet shot me, and I believe they shot me with a .45 handgun, just like Lisa Rogers said, and it was loaded with a special plastic tip, pellet-filled bullet called a Glazer safety slug. Okay, the plastic tip. That's where the plastic come from. That's when the surgeon documented a large amount of plastic in the wound is because of that plastic tipped bullet. There's some other evidence I think that supports that on the X-rays. I could show you that, but like I said, this video I have all that other evidence in other videos. Plenty of proof here, showing on the size of pellets and the plastic and all that. Okay, another important thing. The CSI was named Marty Barrett, and he said he picked up my gun from my home. Okay, and I've got the police report that shows that. Right, he didn't mention any tripwire. Okay, because there wasn't a tripwire. Okay, but there was one officer out of the 10 officers here. Only 6 were listed on the police report, but the cameras showed more than that, and that's what the PI identified. So they were falsifying the police report, but the CSI did not say anything about a tripwire, and there's no tripwire checked into evidence. That was a lie made up by Detective Rosie Rodriguez, who turned out to be the lifelong friend of the ex-wife that's alleged to be involved in the shooting. Okay, Detective Rosie Rodriguez. She's the one that made up the tripwire lie, because 10 other officers, ain't nobody mentions a tripwire. There's no tripwire in evidence, There wasn't enough physical room in here. That's what I'm saying in the first place. There isn't enough physical room for me to be shot with my shotgun. Plus, the evidence shows I wasn't shot with my gun. And when I ain't shot with my gun, that means I'm shot with another gun. That means somebody out there is breaking into a private home and shooting unsuspecting homeowners. And that's what we call a cold-blooded killer. Okay, that's what we call them the scariest criminals on the planet. Because if you're home minding your own business, then they might just decide to murder you next. Okay, and with these dirty, lying cops, they might get away with it. Okay, and there's a lot of money to be made there. So anyways, I wanted to address the tripwire. The other evidence found was that CSI Marty Barrett checked in the 4 live shotgun shells from my shotgun. And remember, the police are saying I shot myself with my gun, 4-foot long shotgun in this tiny room. Okay, well, they didn't check in the empty shell. If I had shot myself with my gun, right, as they falsely claimed, and I'm sure that was on purpose, right? These were the secret police I had to pay to get identified, right? If I had, then an empty shotgun shell would have been in the gun and would have been checked in by Marty Barrett, but it wasn't. I mean, it would have been right there in the chamber, right? It wasn't. And why? Because I wasn't shot with my gun. Well, the evidence is clear. I wasn't shot with my gun. I was shot with another gun. I believe it was a .45 handgun, just like Lisa Rogers said, and it was with a Glazer, safety slug, plastic pellet bullet. That explains the plastic in the wound, okay? And so and now there's a lot more evidence. We've got all these people documented saying there's underground homes and tunnels here, and I'm shot from underground. So that should clear that up. I've compared this to hunters that are in a deer blind and they're waiting for a deer to walk by so they can get a kill shot and pull the trigger. That's this person that was under that cabinet right there. They were waiting for me to walk by to pull the trigger. Just like a hunter that's hunting deer and from a deer blind. They were hunting humans. Okay, let that sink in. These killers are hunting humans, and they've got these corrupt police that are helping them by lying, falsifying police reports, stealing evidence, tampering with evidence, and here we are. Okay, I'd be glad to answer any questions and show you the evidence, because the facts will never change. The facts are never going to change that Joe Lozano was recorded saying Painter used to hang out in those underground homes here. I'm going to leave that right here.